In today's video, we're going to be going over my top 10 best winter designer fragrances for 2025 going into 2026. I'm a little bit early. Usually I do these videos sometime in, the first couple weeks of December, but we've already got snow on the ground and I figured, well, it looks like winter and it feels like winter. Might as well go ahead and get this video out there. If it's early for you, it'll give you some extra time to do some price shopping, do some comparing and see what you really want to get. Gives you some more time to narrow things down. As I mentioned though, all designer fragrances in this video, so we're going to keep it pretty affordable. I'm going to put links to everything down below in the description if you want to do some shopping. Now this first one at number 10 is Gucci Intense Oud. So getting started off pretty strong here. Nice wearable oud, leather, raspberry, and patchouli based scent. I absolutely love this one. It's been around for quite a while and surprisingly enough is still in production. And I say that because, at least when I look at this doesn't seem like something that's gonna really do well outside of the fragrance community. So it just kind of surprises me that they haven't discontinued this one yet, because that has happened a lot, not just from this brand, but from a lot of other designer brands. They do something a little bit different and unique and doesn't always work out too well. You'll see this one gets compared to things like Nasamato Black Afgano. There's a little bit of a similarity, but this is way, way lighter. This is much more of a designer smell compared to something like that. That's a pretty extreme example, but really what I focus on here is the notes that I listed off: the raspberry, the leather, the oud in here, of course. Everything blends together really nice, really smooth, really creamy, really sweet, just a little bit smoky, a little bit woody. Smells really, really good. And if the oud is kind of scaring you off a little bit, I wouldn't be too concerned by it. If you're really on the fence, try to sample it first. But for a lot of you guys out there, this type of oud is very wearable. It's, a relatively decent entry level oud. There are some that are going to be even better for that, but this one is really not too bad, not too intimidating at all. Just give it some time, give it some wearings, and you might realize you really, really like it. It's perfect for winter wear when it's cold outside. This next one is TUMI Continuum. So this one is going to be all about the tobacco and suede, essentially is what you get here. So it has tobacco leaf, suede, olibanum, and iris is a few of the main notes here that you really pick up on. So the tobacco needs no introduction, but you'll notice tobacco leaf, it's not a super strong like red pipe tobacco smell. It's a relatively light tobacco accord, but it mixes with some iris, it mixes with some olibanum. It smells really, really good. And this is one that's pretty unique in my opinion. It stands out compared to a lot of other designer tobacco scents out there. Now, when you go on the niche side of things, it could get pretty wild and you can go through different categories there of being a little bit more approachable or stuff that's just crazy strong and very smoky. But for a designer, this one is not going anywhere near that level of extreme, red pipe tobacco smell. But this one, it does have kind of a bit of a balance. This is something that you can still wear in public on a day-to-day basis, and it's not going to smell off-putting or anything like that. It doesn't smell like you're smoking a cigar or something crazy. If you want a designer level tobacco scent with a little bit of a twist, something different to change it up, maybe you've been wearing Dolce & Gabbana, the one eau de parfum for years, and you want to move on to something different, check this one out. You're still going to get the mass appeal, the versatility, and good performance, whereas you don't really get that with Dolce & Gabbana, the one, all that much. But this one is a better performer, great quality scent for a really good price. I'm thinking usually around $60 or so. Moving into number 8, we have Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Elixir, just the original version here. You could go for the Elixir Absolu. You could go for really anything from this lineup. Ultra Male, Le Male Parfum, the list goes on. Take your favorite pick and throw it in the video. It's hard for me to choose a favorite, but I do really like the regular Elixir version, so this is kind of why I went with it. Tobacco and honey. So I know you're thinking, is everything tobacco in this video? No, we've got some other stuff going on here as well, but this one, it's a real nice, mature take on this DNA that has been existing for years. And so they're still building upon that original Le Male DNA. You still get that vanilla, you still get that lavender, just that signature smell. But again, that tobacco comes in, mixing with that honey, an iconic combination, an iconic fragrance note duo that has been done several times because it works. and it often does give the perception of more of a mature and refined smell. Think of something along the lines of Xerjoff Naxos, for an example, which is a very popular niche fragrance that is using those two notes together as kind of the forefront. Now, I'm not saying that this smells like Naxos. We're not talking a clone situation here. There's still some pretty big differences, but this is going to be more so closer to that category. Still has some of that youthful playfulness that you would expect from a fragrance line like this, but at least it takes it away from that just a little bit, which a lot of people would appreciate. One of the main reasons this one's so popular as well is because it is a beast mode performer. Not that we would really expect it not to be, because pretty much every flanker within this lineup has had good performance, but yet this one does as well, which is a big bonus. It is still a great compliment puller. People love this one for great reason. It's a great purchase that is at a really good price. The price has come down over the years to where now typically you can sometimes get a 125 ml tester for around $90, $95, and full presentation is not too much higher than that. So you're really right at around that $100 price point on discounters, which for what you get is a phenomenal price. Moving on to number 7, we have to have a signature iris scent in here, right? It's just, I love my iris fragrances, and without making things too redundant within a video of 10 like this, you know, I can really only put one, or at least I feel like I should only put one. And so that leads me to narrow it down to a couple of things. But ultimately, I settled on Gentleman Reserve Privé by Givenchy, kind of a pretty standard pick for me. You know, it would either be this or Dior Homme Intense at this point when I'm talking my standalone, you know, iris-based fragrances for winter wear. Now, if Dior Homme Parfum was still in production and available, that would have taken precedent and it would have been in this video, probably ranking a bit higher up as well, because I love everything about Dior Homme Parfum, but of course they discontinued that one, and so I'm not going to feature it. But this has iris, it has chestnut and some whiskey, so it's taking that original Gentleman EDP DNA with the iris, that sweet vanilla smell. It's still here. They're putting it in more of a gourmand direction with the chestnut, which is a common note these days, and with a nice whiskey, boozy accord as well, just making it and pushing it even further into that winter category. Everything about this is well done. It's well blended, well executed, and also happens to be at a really competitive price too on discounters. I mean, typically you're going to be looking at $75, maybe $80 for 100 ml, which again, for what you're getting is an incredible deal. You know, Dior Homme Intense, somewhere around 100, you know, most times. And when Dior Homme Parfum was in production, or at least available on discounters, you know, a while back, it was always $170, closer to $200. So, you know, this one is just, it's phenomenal for the money. Moving into number 6, I just was talking about chestnut, and so you might expect what's coming next, maybe. It's Armani Stronger With You Parfum. So you know I love the Absolutely version, right? It's been a favorite of mine ever since it first came out, because there was a point where we just had those three, the original, Intensely, and Absolutely. And of those three, Absolutely quickly became my favorite. It has a nice rum accord mixing in with the chestnut and everything. And then the exclusive editions came out, which would change things a little because I liked a lot of those. And then somewhere along the way, this Parfum came out, which is interesting because Absolutely is already a Parfum. This is also a Parfum, so it's just yet another flanker here. What I do like about this one is they really make that chestnut richness even more strong than before. And so, yeah, you don't really get, you know, that rum booziness that you get from Absolutely, but that's okay. You know, there's a time and place where I would want to wear that one. There's a time and place where maybe I don't really want that type of scent. Maybe I want something that's, you know, just going to go in a different direction for me without sacrificing performance or depth or richness. That's when I would go for the Parfum. Nothing wrong with the Intensely version, nothing wrong with the original Stronger With You, but if I'm taking my pick, I would choose the Parfum over those two most of the time. This is basically just a Parfum concentrated version of the Intensely, essentially. There's still some differences as well, but that's kind of how I look at it. If the Intensely version didn't do it for you, not strong enough, not rich enough, whatever, but you don't really want the rum accord of the Absolutely version, then the parfum is going to be your answer. This isn't going to make sense for everybody, but I do really enjoy it. I like how it smells. It's a super easy wear. You can pick this up and spray it on for about anything in the winter months, and it's going to work and give you great performance, great compliments, great versatility. And so at number 6, I think this one's a really solid choice. Breaking into the top 5, the further up we go, the harder it gets for me to not only place things in the video, but also to order them. And so like I always say, you know, the order could change tomorrow. So take it with a grain of salt, right? If it made it in this video, 10 fragrances just out of the you know, several that I have, that's saying something. But if it makes it into the top 5 and even the top 3, it pretty much speaks for itself, and so you don't need to pay too much attention to the order. But, you know, at number 5, we have Mercedes-Benz Club Black. By far the cheapest fragrance in this video, and it is still amazing to me that something this good exists for around $40 and is ranking in a video like this with a lot of these, you know, pretty expensive high-end designer scents. It's all about the vanilla, the benzoin, and a little bit of ambroxan off the opening. But what this is it's a vanilla scent. From start to finish, vanilla is the forefront. If you don't like that, you're definitely not going to like this, and I wouldn't even bother with it, to be honest. It's just save yourself the headache, save yourself the frustration of blind buying this and not liking it, because at this price point, buying a sample, you're not really saving a whole lot at the end of the day, unless you buy a little 1 ml, I guess. But, you know, it's just, if you know what you like, then this is a pretty easy one to jump into. But it's vanilla based, meaning it's not really a masculine smell. It is a smooth, sweet smell. What I like about it is it's comforting. You know, it's kind of alluring. It's a little bit seductive smelling just because it's sweet, it's smooth, it's creamy vanilla. And that's what it is. You know, it sounds simple on paper, and it is, to be fair. But yet it doesn't really smell like anything else. And that's what I like about it. If this one was $80 or $90 on discounters, you know, that would change things a little bit. I would still like it. It would still be a fantastic vanilla scent. But again, it's the fact that you can get this for really close to a cheapy price at this point, right around $40 or so. 40, maybe 45 sometimes, but sometimes it's less. This one varies a lot depending on sales and stuff. But for the money, this is a fantastic one. Not to mention, also a great performer. Moving into number 4, we have Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal Absolu. So another JPG in here. When it comes to sweet fragrances, especially these days, they are kind of at the top of the game. Love them or hate them, they know what they're doing here. And this one basically only features 2 notes that I really know of, and it's sandalwood and chestnut. They list off Mirabelle in there as the 3rd note that they actually give to us. Not really sure what that is, so I'm not going to speculate on that. But what I can tell you is I know sandalwood and I know chestnut. 2 notes that are pretty easy to pick up on. The sandalwood is a smooth, creamy, woody note compared to something like a cedar wood, which is usually drier, earthier, and more rugged smelling. So it's a smooth sandalwood. The chestnut, a very common smell. We've seen that pop up a couple times in this video already. Gives you this kind of nutty, sweet, gourmand smell. And just because I list off 3 doesn't mean that that's all that's there. There's for sure a tonka bean. There's a vanilla. There's things that you're going to have in here that just can't be without, right? Something like this, you can pick up on them. This one smells fantastic, and this is the time of year that I would wear it. It could work in fall as well, but it's on the sweet end of things for sure. And depending on what type of temperatures you're experiencing in fall, it might be a little bit too much sometimes. But the incredible performance that this one has, mixed with just the overall sweet smell that it gives off, makes it perfect for winter. At number 3, we have Azzaro Forever Wanted Elixir, all about the raspberry and the leather. 2 notes that also go together great. That's been done many times, but it simply just works. Oh, it smells so, so good. You know, I was not really fully sure what to expect out of this one when they were launching it and announcing it. And I was thinking it might be one that's maybe a letdown. You know, I don't know. Just you see the tacky looking loud gold bottle, and it's not, you know, I like how it looks. But when this is first, you know, announced and this is what you see, sometimes you just don't know if you're going to get something good or not. And to my surprise, it has been a favorite of mine. It's not necessarily a favorite over Forever Wanted. It's not necessarily a favorite over the Most Wanted Parfum. I would take it over the regular Most Wanted. Not necessarily going to take it over Wanted by Night, but it's really close. This is for sure top 3. And, you know, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it could even rank a little bit higher at some point. But right now, definite top 3. Really, really good scent. with a unique smell. Yes, raspberry and leather is not unique. That combination has been done a million times, just like tobacco and honey and many other combinations, but mixed with everything else, it smells really good. And it does stand out, especially stands out within the rest of the Wanted lineup. At number 2, I don't know if I can ever, not feature this in a winter video, just because it is one that I always enjoy. It is Spicebomb Extreme at a solid number 2 spot here. It's all about the tobacco and the vanilla and the black pepper. Peppery spiciness, smooth vanilla, nice strong tobacco accord as well. It smells great. You guys know all about this one, so I'm not going to spend time on it. It smells like winter to me. It smells like the holidays, and it simply works. It has the performance, has the richness, it has the spiciness to cut through cold, crisp air, especially when the wind's blowing and it's, there's some wind chill going on. This type of thing just works. Prices have come down on it. You can even get it as low as $75, $80 these days, which always used to be well over $100. I think we know what's coming here at the number 1 spot. You haven't seen it yet, so you kind of figured at this point. Hugo Boss Bottled Absolu. Has patchouli, incense, and myrrh. Smoky, smooth, sweet, seductive, sexy, and resinous. That is what it is. Man, it just smells so good. And I'm not going to spend time on this one either because it has been talked about plenty. And most of you know about it already. But just know that if you're looking for a designer that's unique, a designer that's just interesting, good performing, great quality, checks off all of the boxes for around $100, $105 discounted price. This is it right here. Don't sleep on it. Get one while you can. It's not discontinued, but it does sell out on discounters quite often. It's in pretty high demand. So I recommend it. Get it while you can enjoy it for winter time because sometimes winter goes pretty quick. The gradient is cool as well. You can see it a little bit, not very important, but just all around an amazing scent. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for me. My top 10 best winter fragrance picks, designers for this coming winter. Links will be down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.